All right. So, what should we call this thing? What is a podcast? I mean, we've got this group, so folks should know. DMVMPC, some places DMV underscore MVP. Uh, did I say MVP? DMV underscore M District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia, Models and Photographers Club, DMVMPC for short. You can find us on Meetup. You can find us on Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram soon, if not already. Trying to create a new thing. Create a new thing. We see that there's some opportunity, and we just want to we want to contribute in our own way to the community that we've grown fond of creatives on both sides of the camera, the models and the photographers. So we just kind of want to sort of introduce ourselves by just having a little conversation today. May not be much. You may learn something, and we hope to have you all join us in the future. Taking a pretty good look at some things that we think have worked, some things that we think have not worked. And, you know, I also have a user experience background in which, when you put out a product or you're working on a service, you want to be in tune with what the people want. It's not so much about putting out, what I want, what you and I want. It's about making sure that it solves a particular problem. And so, as we move forward with growing this group, this little community, and the things that we put on, we don't just want to put on just another thing. We want to, elicit joy from participating. We want to solve maybe some problems that are seen elsewhere. And we want to make this into something of a success that involves everybody who's participating with us. Um, so I also like to mention, um, as it's a pretty creative field, I know that we bring inspiration from different places into our photography. Um, you know, I know that Jason is a painter, quite a creative, and oftentimes the photography seems to be a big inspiration for the artwork that comes after. And you want to talk a little bit about that, just sort of how you kind of mix photography with some of your other creative skills.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Usually I like to keep my lighting, like for example, when I think of lighting and stuff, I usually like to keep it simple. Just because it allows me to create kind of, well, as everybody says, or as the model says, something moody. Um, and I usually like to keep it kind of shadowy because like it's like a depth
Mhm.
in a way, and it helps like create like a reveal, helps create like kind of like you're exposing something that was hidden. So like I look at it as like the shadows in the way like I do like a lot of like in some of my shots, like I do a lot of let's look away from the light. Um so when the shot goes off, like you see a silhouette of the face, but you know it's a face there. But when you see like kind of like the reveal of the skin in a way. Like there was a shot I did with Lily Red where I had her look away. Her face is very silhouette, but you see her jawline exposed to the light. So in that way, like just that like little piece right there kind of gives like to me like a reveal of a sense of like exposure, like who she is in a sense, like coming out of the shadows. Kind of like how well I wouldn't say kind of like, because not in that exact reasoning was like dealing with like geishas, how they would leave their makeup free on the back of the neck and
Mhm.
stuff to kind of give like a little tease, a little exposure in the sense to saying like who they are as a real person.
Hmm.
So like even though you see the silhouette of the face, you know it is a real person. I mean, obviously you know it's a person and everything, but just like that reveal just kind of creates like a depth like of coming out of the shadows in a sense. So like usually when I relate that to my painting in a way, I like to think of what picture helps create a story. What picture kind of like can like how can this create a a sense of an imagination? Now, I don't want to lead like usually like with my work, I don't like to lead people down a certain path. I kind of want them to make their own path. Um, Actually, for a time, I used to do a lot of things about dealing with balance, with say like mental health
Hmm.
per se. Like for example, like I did a sculpture where the sculpture was fine, but one side was kind of all scratched up, and the other side has like these kind of like paisley, Victorian style kind of on the face. So like you have like a mixture of like, so like even though it's fine down the middle, and then it's either scraped up on one side or paisley on the other.
Hmm.
What side are you relating? Like, what's the story that tells you? There's like another one I did where um, I drew this lady. It looked like she was floating, kind of. I would say like underwater. She looked like she was underwater, but
Okay.
like up top, you see the surface of the water. You see the light coming down,
Hmm.
shining on her. You see her looking like she's floating up.
Wow.
Um, and you see at the bottom where it's completely dark and black, you see outlines of hands reaching up to grab her and pull her down.
Oh man.
But you never see like a hand like actually grabbing her, and you never see her at the light. You just see her in the center.
Hmm.
So depending on where you are that day, if you had a shitty day or like if you had a bad day, or if you're in the great mood, you're like, oh, she's overcoming and she's floating to the top
Okay.
and the hands are unable to reach her, or the hands are going to grab her and pull her down. So like it's not up for me to decide what you're thinking. It's up for you to decide the story you tell in your head,
Mm.
what makes you think like and and in that sense, like it doesn't even matter if you're a very imaginative or creative person. Like that part doesn't matter at all. Because
Mm.
you can see the hands and you can see your hands and the initial reaction is like, oh, they're gonna pull her down.
Yeah.
Or you can see the light, like she's gonna float up to the top of the water and be okay.
Okay.
So like it doesn't even matter like if you're creative, like either way, you're gonna create it's gonna automatically create a story in your head based off of how you are feeling at that particular time.
All right.
So that's how I kind of look at uh like with some of my more artistic shots and some of my paintings is like I can't really say like so much a lot of my paintings now lately, but like that was kind of like my focus at the time
Yeah.
was balance and which path are you going to take?
Got a new nickname for you, Jason, the facilitator of perspectives or the facilitator of narratives. What um what got you into painting to start with?
Uh, what got me into painting?
Yeah, yeah. How'd you get started?
Someone offered me money. That's what got me into painting.
Oh, you like money, huh?
Yeah. No, that honestly, I was taking a painting class. I was really horrible at it. I never worked with oils before, and
Just stays wet for a really long time.
yeah, very long time. So like, I just kind of enjoyed the like. experimenting. It's kind of like I'm just thinking about my beginning,
Hmm.
where I was just experimenting all the time on different tactics, different things, different like just like
Yeah.
I remember I made some glow in the dark paintings,
Uh-huh.
um, where I did the eggs from Alien, and then when the light comes off, like you see the eggs, you see the aliens like peer through the eggs as they shine through the eggs and stuff.
Mhm.
So that was like really cool. Also I did this like wave, but when it's like nighttime or like when you shut off the lights, it turns into like a moon and stars, and you see the wave kind of giving off the reflection of the night and stuff. Um, so just kind of like in that sense, like experimenting with things that way, experimenting with uh mixing acrylics, not really mixing acrylics and oils, that's a big no-no, but like mixing like styles, like doing different styles. Um which is kind of like where I'm at with my photography in a sense.
Hmm.
So like I think like now I'm having more of an understanding, but like into my own style, but like as photography, like especially like my first um year, actually I would say more my second year doing I'm doing this is my third year now, but my second year of doing photography, I would say I focus more on experimenting a little bit more at the end of my first year to second year. I wanted to focus on trying to create like different effects, different things, different lighting.
Uh,
Um, just honestly have fun. Expensive kind of fun, but fun.
Fair enough. Yeah, man, as a third year photographer, it seems like you've been around forever. Doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You mentioned having Lily turn her face from the light, as well as, having some others do the same. So sort of, knowing that you've established an understanding of the rules and deciding when you want to break it, pretty safe to say you consider yourself, an art shooter.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you find mixing your styles with the styles of other models that maybe shoot a little differently, that are maybe more so in the glam category, or let's say there might be a little overlap when you've got like the cosplay category and some things like that. But how do you like experimenting with models that shoot other, let's say, more standard lighting, more standard posing? How do you mix in your style with that?
Uh, honestly, changing the angle. I would rather change the angle, kind of like say like you know how like in TV sometimes like they're always watching TV, but you never see what's technically on the TV.
Yeah,
You always see like the fourth wall
yeah, they're watching
and
us.
stuff. Yeah. So like I try and switch it up to that angle. I try and switch it up to like kind of showing the uh, um like I'm shooting behind the scenes in a way, I guess. Like if most people I can't I can think of some examples. Like for example, like shooting with Becky Lynn, um, where she's when she first started modeling, her poses and stuff were kind of like uh glamour glamour style.
Mhm.
And at the time, so I was like, okay, well, let's switch up the angle. I'm gonna switch actually I told her, I was like, because I tell them to stay still, stay where you are, don't look at me. Like, just like, I'm going to change my angle and I'm just going to look at different angles and stuff for the same pose. Because, like, I think, like, honestly, like, a lot of times I had trouble with, like, specific glamour models, as I've stated before, is that they they do the same poses and essentially just because the settings change doesn't mean you're getting a different photo from somebody else. So you, in a sense, have to make something that they do regularly new
Hmm.
in a way. Not saying that they're because like they may be great at what they do with those poses and stuff, but to me, it's just kind of like you're going to see that same pose on someone else's photo, and it's going to be the same photo, just different setting or different clothes. So how can you do something different in a way? Like that's how I try and think about it because I want someone to obviously recognize my work as so, something different, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't really plan that sentence out too well.
You know what? Um, since you mentioned it, I mean, that's something that's on my mind as well. Um, it's almost like some photographers, and maybe I can't say if it's one type of shooter more than the other, but do you often feel that the pressure to do something different? Like, as in, if you got a really great standard shot, like maybe you didn't do enough. Like you're looking for something like really unique in that shot. Do you ever kind of feel that pressure? And then if it's not special, you just kind of you're like, it's all right, I'll get around to it. Is that is that familiar?
Um, yes, sort of. I think in those like aspects, like I think there was like there's been more than a couple shots where I put that pressure on myself to do try and do something unique and it doesn't come across at least at the time. But then when I get either home and looking at the photographs or like I just don't look at them and then I kind of go back after like a pretty decent amount of time has passed. And because I remember like I forget who told me this, but like one photographer was just like, yeah, I don't look at my photos for like a couple months because I want the reason why I took the photos gone. So that way I could look at them with the aspects of like what they are.
Mm,
So like sometimes I'll go back and look at them and realize I was like, okay, this isn't a bad photo. This is a unique photo. Um, I did get what I was looking for, but like it wasn't like it doesn't match inside. It didn't match inside my head at the time, but once you get rid of how you wanted it to be inside your head, like it can like you could see what it is and what like the expectations.
hmm. No,
But
that's
like
good.
actually I have a question for you.
Mm, yes.
Um, so I hear a lot of obviously when they talk about photographers and stuff, and when the photographer's not there, and dealing with you, I hear a lot about um, that you are a methodical master.
Mm.
Their words, not mine. Okay.
They didn't say maniacal.
Well, they keep saying that they're like, oh, Greg took the best shot. Like it's so kind of funny. Like they've never seen the shot. They've never seen the shot that you took, but they know you took the best shot because of the process that you had, because of the lighting or the settings. Like you're um able to look at things saying that this is how like you're able to have a vision and show that you have a vision. Whereas I know I clearly have stated many times with many models that Yeah, I don't have a vision. I just show up and whatever happens, happens. So like how does that relate to your or like how does like your process behind your photos? Like I remember you did ones with like Bella and Caitlin, and you put a smoke machine in this oven with the orange light, and then you had the blue lights afterwards, or the ones you did with like Natalie and Cece, I think it was, or was it Caitlin also, in the shower where you had the water running in front of them and you did it natural light, and it was just like a photo that I would probably be jealous over. I'd be like, you son of a bitch, you did it.
You know, the
I wish I did that, but it wouldn't come out as good.
funny thing is, I don't like a lot of my photos. Like, I feel like there's a very specific thing I'm going for, but maybe in some way, almost like you just mentioned, if I let a couple months go by, I'll look at it and say, not that bad. Um, like I kind of consider um I've used strobes a lot lately. I used to not really understand, prior to the past few years. And I kind of looked at strobes as a way to kind of create something that's like painting with light a little bit, I guess. I used to love to draw a lot and paint and all that stuff. Haven't had nearly as much time. But to kind of set things up, maybe use colors as separation. Um, you want to get the shutter speed just right to get the effect that you're looking for, but oftentimes, it can take a little bit longer to get it just right. So um yeah. And sometimes you could think on the spot and do it, but I think there's two different schools of thought sometimes, I love talking to people who, do things differently, come from different places. I used to be exclusively natural light because I didn't understand strobe. And then I was just doing strobe for so much, I forgot how beautiful sometimes natural light can be. So, yeah, that's just the thing, not never really dwelling on what was done and just trying to get to the next thing, mastering the tools. Throw in another light, it's like some seasoning. What are you gonna get out of it? You're gonna change the time of the day. You're gonna, isolate somebody from a crowd behind them. So just something fun to do there. I feel like we've been oh, did time move that fast? So we got 10 minutes. It's okay. It's okay. We'll have to hit people with an hour next time. Uh, and the people are lucky too because I was gonna bust out one of the secret moves. Um, I'll have to finish this one out later, but for those who know, hey girl, let me tell you something.
Yeah,
But to tell you, I should tell you another.
no, that was a half a bottle of tequila. I'm sorry about that night.
We're gonna need a whole episode for that one. But actually, probably more importantly, um, there's something coming up, and it's a little event that we're going to be putting on, and I would like to mention live stage. If you are not on the platform live stage, look it up. I'll put links in the description and all that good stuff. um, if you boil it down at its heart, it is remote photography, but in the bigger picture, depending who you're shooting with, it's also an experience. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to interact. And it's an opportunity to join parts of the community where you are not typically at on a regular basis. So, yeah, just consider this the pilot episode of a larger podcasting series that we will put on. We want to keep it light. We want to keep it fun. Maybe add a little education to the community. Be some jokes in between. And something else we want to do is we want to do some live critiques of some work. Be it some work that we particularly think is interesting, whether we took it or other pieces of art photographed by by the community. And especially once the live stage events really start to move forward, perhaps we can feature some work and talk a little bit about all the amazing stuff that you all are doing as participants in this community. So we're definitely looking forward to a lot of things. We hope you're excited, and we definitely want to keep this series going. So be sure to like, follow, show some love, drop some comments, let us know that you're here, and we'll look forward to continuing to put it out for you. So before we wrap up, anything else that you want to add?
Thank you if you watch. Thank you if you join. Like seriously, thank you. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there, and um, just enjoy creating and just enjoy the process. Really.
That's right, for the love of it. All right. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.